Mr. Wolfgang, who is our next witness?
Mr. Ken Hastings.
All right. Mr. Hastings, welcome. Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
And if you would state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Ken Hastings. I live at 39044 Holly Drive, Mechanicsville, 20659.
And what did you do for a living, Mr. Hastings?
I'm a retired electrical engineer.
And what is your interest in this particular project?
I spend a lot of time in the Nanjemoy area kayaking, fishing, and whatnot, and I was interested from that viewpoint. And I know some people down there who asked me to help them take some videos. So. And
specifically, what were you taking videos of for this project?
We took videos of a typical trip through the project area along Hancock Run and Adamsville Road.
And we provided a YouTube link as Exhibit 7 to the board. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that YouTube link is to videos that you yourself prepared?
Yes, that's true.
And were you present when they were taken?
Yes.
Did you operate the equipment?
Yes.
And the videos that are on the YouTube link are a fair and accurate representation of what occurred on, let's see, do we have a date?
It's on the video, but I don't remember
August,
right now.
It looks like on several dates. Is that correct? August 8th?
No, this is Exhibit 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
and I just don't remember the date. I'm sorry.
It was done in 2016.
Yes, it was.
Mr. Chairman, we have also a thumb drive version, but we would like to present this video to the board.
Okay.
And I don't know whether you want to run it on thumb drive or whether it should be.
Probably be better to use the thumb drive. So if there is the computer on down there, do we know? Is there a computer under there that seems to be connected to those monitors?
Not alive.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, is there a way we can get
Probably,
that thumb drive for our records too?
Computer is working here or not?
Let's see.
Well, the YouTube link is already posted on Board Docs.
Yeah.
We can't post that on there.
I just clicked it. I found it on Board Docs and clicked it. It's a PDF that contains the YouTube link.
Oh, it is a PDF. Okay. The PDF. Okay.
Yep.
I just want to make sure we can archive it. That's more of my concern.
Got it. Let me see if this monitor's on.
I think the exhibit provided a hyperlink.
Yep.
To the YouTube channel.
I just turned this computer on.
All right. We'll see if we get something here in a minute.
It also seems I can find a USB port on here.
I'm going to ask maybe our folks upstairs who run the cameras if it might be appropriate for us to just take a brief break from the video recording while we try to get this video to play. So I'm going to ask them to basically kind of kill the cameras for a moment until we can get the audio-visual working from the PC there. Thanks. All right, so we're back here, and we've gotten some assistance with the audiovisual system. And I understand, Mr. Wolfgang, you're going to start playing a video for us. Do you want to tell us more about it before you begin?
I would like to ask if Mr. Hastings can
narrate
the video.
If I could get you a little closer to the microphone, too.
I would like to ask if Mr. Hastings can narrate the video, tell us what's going on and who's in the individual photos or video as we go along and what they're doing. I can try to guide with questions during that period of time, but I'd ask some latitude for him to to narrate.
That's fine.
All right, Mr. Hastings, before you press the start button there, why don't you start by telling us who's in this scene?
Okay, this is my wife. This is Miss Redding, and this is Kevin Grimes. And of course, I'm operating the camera, and we're in the process of measuring the road widths. And this is on Hancock Run Road. My back is to Route 6, down at the Grayton end of Route 6. And we're going to take, I think, take a total of 2 measurements here. And then there's some video showing how narrow the road is with actual cars driving on it.
Okay, so before you start, I'm going to refer the board back to our exhibit number 1. Are there indications of the 2 places where you took actual tape measurements of the road widths? Do they show on the map shown on exhibit 1?
Yes, the 2 road widths down toward the bottom of the picture with the blue cars on them, those are the measurements we're going to see actually taken on the video.
And is this particular one right now the one that indicates road width number 1?
Yes.
Okay. So I think you can go ahead and activate the video then.
Okay.
There is no sound, so can you tell the board where that picture was taken?
Yes, I was told in the past not to put sound on video that I was going to use for evidence, so that's why it's like this. This is a picture of my truck and Mr. Grimes' truck sitting side by side on the road, and this you asked about the date is 11/19/2016, and so we started from here with a picture of the 2 vehicles sitting side by side. Then we took some measurements, and then we did a driving tour with me standing in the back of my pickup truck taking video as we went.
So would this be then Hancock Run Road near Maryland Route 6?
Yes, that's Maryland Route 6 in the back.
Okay, go ahead.
And now we're in motion again, and we had a spotter to make sure we didn't get run over with cars. But so this measurement number 1, I didn't stop it in time, but it's 11 foot 7 inches, and there was a GPS coordinates along with it. And then I home in here, and in determining where the pavement ended, we just stopped with the place where the glue wasn't holding the gravels together anymore, and that seemed to be pretty accurate. Over here is still stuck. This is more like rubble from the rest of the road. So then measurement number 2, which was 13.6, it was a little about a mile farther on, and the GPS coordinates there are as accurate as my smartphone would give them to me. And so we took that measurement and using the same technique and with a spotter to keep cars from running over us. And it's pretty accurate. It's sort of a judgment call about whether, where the edge of the road was, but that seemed like the best, most honest place. While we were there was car traffic, and we were concerned about that because, of course, there are no shoulders, and it's hard for cars to pass each other without hitting people. So, and the cars that you see in the background here are on Route 6. The ones that are passing perpendicular to the road, they're on Route 6. Then we started off, we're headed toward Adams Willett on Route 6, or on Hancock Run Road. And this is Mr. Grimes' pickup truck, and I'm just following him along. And I probably could have cut more of this out, but if I cut things out, then people start to say, well, gee, why didn't you leave it all in? It would have been 30 or 40 minutes by the time we made this trip at this speed, because you can't go very fast, and I didn't want to go very fast taking videos from the back of my truck. So we go through a variety of land here, and you'll see periodically there are mailboxes and driveways, and so other people live on this road. It's kind of neat in a way. It's got a canopy, and it's a scenic road. But you can tell there's no opportunity for people to pass, and there's very little here that you can actually call a shoulder. In dry weather, some of this land here, if you don't hit a tree, would probably serve as a shoulder. And we found places where we did pull off. We almost got stuck in one place. There's land for sale. That's promising. and somebody came up behind us. There wasn't much we could do about that. We had to wait. We knew there was a place coming where we could let them go by, but they couldn't pass until we got off the road.
Can I ask a question?
Wait till he's done the video if you can. You mentioned this part.
I just want to know how many miles.
Go ahead. Okay.
Approximately how many miles is this that you're riding?
Say again?
How many miles is this road that you're going down right now?
I'm not sure what the length of Hancock Run road is. It's got to be 1.5 miles or so. I'm guessing, but I didn't actually measure that. I took some measurements. I took a measurement from the project to Ironside Road, and I took it in both directions. One using Adams Willett and going out to Liverpool Point and going that way, and the other one going back to Route 6 in reverse of what I'm doing here. And there was about 0.4 of a mile longer in order to go the Adams Willett Road route the whole way.
So it was shorter to use Hancock Run Road.
Yes, to get to certainly get shorter to get to Route 6 and it was still short to get to Ironsides. We found a place here to pull off and let that car go by. And you notice that hill is especially interesting because there's really nowhere to go when you get up there. You couldn't pass. There's nowhere to pull off. There's nowhere to pass. There's nothing but trees in your way for that whole section there. This is a culvert on Hancock Run, and you see that the roadway here goes right down along the culvert pipes. Of course, there's no guardrails or anything. There's no white lines on the road or anything to guide you. And there were always cars using it. Fortunately, we were off the road when they came. We didn't have to make any invasive measures. This one was moving right along. There's no limit posted on Hancock Run Road, but I'm sure he was above whatever it should have been. This is the U.S. Postal Service. Apparently does this all the time because he immediately went off on the side of the road. There was a place there where he felt safe that he could get off, and we just went on our way, and nothing much else you could do. We could have got off, but somebody had to get off the road. There's another driveway coming in from the left. I'll try to make this more interesting next time. Maybe some music would be nice, and maybe some banjo music would fit in. This sign here implies that there's a turn in the road, but there really isn't. We're coming to the end of Hancock Run Road, and it sort of blends right into Adams Willett, even though it looks like a right-hand turn. There's no signage to tell you that, and the only signal that something's going to happen is that sign that makes it look like there was going to be a hairpin right-hand turn, but that's not really what happens here. We have a gradual turn, then we hit the end of Hancock Run, and we get to the intersection with Adams Willett, which is what we're approaching now. It's interesting that this intersection was never studied for level of service or capacity or anything else. The sign shows it to be Adams Willett, and once we get on Adams Willett, you see that there is a posted speed limit. The road's a little bit wider on Adams Willett, and this posted speed limit is 25 miles per hour. We didn't take much footage on Adams Willett, but the shoulders we thought were interesting. This one has a fairly steep drop. You see that Mr. Grimes has stepped off just to show what that looks like from the height of the road, from the road surface. This is what it looks like from the outlet of the culvert, and he's walking along the precipice, and he turns around and comes back, and he shows you that by just moving 1 foot a little bit, he's off the road and into no man's land. Fortunately, he was walking, and that wasn't a problem. Liverpool Point Road also is a little bit short on the pavement width. We didn't measure the entire road. We measured it near where Adams Willett hits, and it was only 20 feet 7 inches between the white lines. 18.4 between the white lines, and 20 feet 7 for pavement, which brings it below the standard I think we were all hoping for some of these roads.
What location is this now?
This is Mr. Grimes' truck is coming out of Adams Willett, entering Liverpool. If he turns right, he goes back to Route 6.
Okay. And what are you trying to depict at this?
Showing that there's a sight distance problem at this intersection, and that gets we show this a little bit better as we go on. And he's paused. Of course, he needs to get partly out in the road. And then I gave over my camera for Ms. Redding to take a picture from inside the truck and what it looks like. And so there's definitely a sight distance problem in addition to the road not being up to standard widths. And that was Liverpool Point Road that we were looking at. Okay.
Did you make any measurements of the width of Adams Willett Road?
Yes, we did. We started out to document that, and then I saw the testimony of Mr. John Mudd, where he said that they'd already done that, and it ranged from 16 feet to 18 feet. We took 2 measurements in the vicinity of the property, and we got 18 feet. But since someone had already done it and had documented that it was substandard and that it was 16 feet in some places, we didn't see any point in taking up video space for that.
And the measurements that you took when you indicate 18 feet, you're referring to the absolute edge of the road where, as you indicated, the asphalt is no longer sticking together?
Right, except for Liverpool Point Road. And Liverpool Point Road had white lines, and so I had already looked at that table and the zoning ordinance. It said there was a different measurement between the white lines where there were white lines than there was from pavement to pavement. And so other than that, all the rest of them were done the same way.
Okay. Now, I'm going to refer to our exhibits 8A through 8D, which were videos of the Planning Commission meetings.
Yes.
Were you responsible for, I don't know how to say this, you took those off of the county's website, is that correct?
Yes, I downloaded those from the CCG TV network.
Okay. And did you make any substantial alterations to them at all?
No, and what we provided as exhibits are hyperlinks for how to get there, so you don't have to go on CCG TV and go through page after page to get there. So
okay. So if this board looked at the ones that are on CCG TV, they would see essentially the same things as our 8A through 8D.
Yes, I was just trying to provide a convenience.
Were you in attendance at the meetings of the Planning Commission regarding this matter?
Yes.
And was the public offered any opportunity to testify in this case?
No, quite the contrary. It's a standard practice at the Planning Commission for the chairman to always make a statement similar to the opening statement that Mr. Moon made earlier, that you can come in and talk about anything that you want to except things that are on the agenda, and you will not be allowed to speak at any time during the evening on issues that are on the agenda.
And you were present, I suppose, on August the 22nd when people were allowed to speak, but not on the record of this particular case?
Yes, I was probably an instigator for that, because when I realized it wasn't on the agenda, I knew that on the agenda didn't matter anymore, and I told people if you wanted to talk, because they can't stop you now. And so that's how part of that happened.
Thank you. I don't have any other questions for you.
Any cross-examination for Mr. Hastings?
No questions from the county.
Thank you. Mr. Mudd?
No questions.
No questions. All right. All right. Any questions from the board? All right. So I think based on the time of evening, we should probably talk about next steps in terms of schedule. Mr. Wolfgang, did you have any other witnesses or evidence to present to the board for your sort of primary case?
No, sir.
All right. So I think then, as I look at our order of proceedings, what would be next would be an opportunity for the public to testify to the Board of Appeals. So we need to pick a date where we would allow public testimony, and then we would move on to rebuttal. Is that? So we've got 3 members of the Board of Appeals that are here this evening, and the same 3 members were here for the first night. So I think it's important as we look at our calendars into the future that we make sure that the 3 of us can attend, and of course the parties to the case. Carol, I think, did she step away?
She did, and I just realized that the chart that we usually have the dates if we have things scheduled, and it's not on here.
Okay.
So I'm kind of...
So we might need to wait for her to come back. I believe that we've got a pretty full agenda for the 11th. I believe the 25th we've got
yes,
a conflict for our council.
Yes, we have 3 variances.
And we have 3
Yes.
variances. So I think August 8th is probably going to be our next available date. So I guess my question to the parties is, are you available to come back on August 8th?
Yes.
Okay,
I think we may have one case already scheduled for August 8th.
understood.
But so we may want to block off the whole meeting. So we may want to have the second meeting in August.
I'm not going to be available between August 14th and the end of September.
Yeah, so Carol, we're talking about when we might schedule to come back to continue this hearing, and I think we're looking at August 8th. And I wanted to see if we already have something else confirmed.
On which date?
August 8th?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Continuation.
All right, so why don't we plan to come back on August
That's what I was
8th? Those who have signed in prior, or if you've come tonight, you could sign in, and we'll give an opportunity for those parties to be heard on August 8th. And then we will give an opportunity for rebuttal as the next step in our process here.
Thank you, Mr. Moon.
All right. Any other issues or concerns that we need to address this evening before we adjourn? All right, so you can